Hey guys, welcome to the Everything Paranormal Show. I'm your host, Josh Morris. I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. We're going to be discussing a few different topics, some crazy paranormal experience that I had just the other day, and also we're going to be covering some major announcements, and we're also going to be covering just really a few major updates coming along, announcements and things of the different dates and things like that. There's a lot of things to cover. So stick around. Like I said, there's some exciting things coming up, so you don't want to miss what we have coming up for you toward the end of the show. Okay, so first things first, guys. Remember, you can participate in this show. So I'm going to try to keep an eye on the chat every so often. So if you see me kind of looking over here, it's because I'm just trying to look at the chat. Hopefully the chat will work tonight. That would be nice. So one of the biggest things I want to talk about is not the big junk pile behind me, but I want to talk a little bit about the fact that I just released my book. It's called My Paranormal, A Guide to the Spirit Realms. And you can find it on Amazon.com or .uk or any of the 12 plus countries that it's released on. Again, I just released it. I haven't done a lot of marketing for it yet. So, guys, really, I appreciate all of you that go out and get you a copy. In fact, I know there's a few people that's reached out to me, my buddy Rich, and of course, one of our family, what we consider family member, is April. April is, she sent us a picture and posted it on Facebook. I'm going to try to share that picture with you guys in the group. But she posted and she held up a copy of the book and took a selfie with it. That's so cool. It's so cool to see, I guess, my creation in somebody else's home. Even copies that are overseas in England right now. It's just really cool to kind of get that, to have that happen. You know what I mean? Rich is there. Hey, what's up, buddy? He's talking about my house. Yeah. So, and in fact, April, kind of inspired me actually to think about something, and that is the fact that I said, you know what, this is pretty cool. I want to give back, right? I want to give back to you guys. So listen, those of you that watch this and that go out and buy my book, all right. If you get my ebook, okay, which actually should be released tomorrow, by the way, the ebook copy should be released tomorrow. But if you buy the ebook or you buy the paperback, right, if you take a picture, now you don't have to put yourself in the picture. Ideally, yes, if you could take a selfie with it like April did, that'd be awesome. Or at least take, a physical photo and of holding the book, you know what I mean, if you want to do that or something, a creative way to show that you bought my book, whether it's the paperback or if you want to hold your Kindle or your iPad or whatever tablet, and you have the ebook on there. Whatever you can do, take that picture, submit it to the website. There's a contact form or whatnot. There's my email, but submit it through there. So for all of you that buy my book and submit a photocopy of it, you're going to be entered into a giveaway. And by the end of October, which is like the Halloween season, for everybody that enters that competition, again, we're going to do a drawing, and we'll give away like a $50 Amazon gift card. Yeah, that'll be pretty sweet. And especially going into the holidays, anybody can use that $50 Amazon gift card, especially, like I said, with going into the holidays. So, hey, it's just my way of giving back to you guys for going out and supporting me and sharing things like that. I've had some really supportive people that, again, went out, bought the book, and they've already started sharing that. So thanks, guys. For those of you that are watching, again, Rich, April, you guys, and some others. If I don't mention any names, my mom, my grandma, things like that. My wife, for all of you that are supportive of me, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it. Please continue to be supportive of me. I really appreciate it. I see you see me. Hi. I hope you're going to get my book, because I know she's a big supporter every day. So, and it looks like April's trying to get in the chat, according to my wife. And heck yeah, contest for the win. Yeah. So, oh, and let me tell you something. That reminds me. BRRS Media. I got to give a shout out to Rich's folks. Him and his social media manager, Lisa, and things like that. His people over there. They are doing a giveaway themselves. And part of that giveaway, it's like this big basket of stuff. It's pretty cool. Part of that giveaway is a copy of my book. So, you know, hey, that's awesome. Again, I appreciate it, guys out there at BRS Media. Rich, again, very big supporters, and I'm a very big supporter of them as well. They do some great content. They've got good shows. So again, if you're looking at conspiracy stuff, things like that, man, he's really got it going on. And he's also got an uncle. Oh, Uncle Cletus is crazy. So you got to check him out. He's fun. He's fun to listen to. You got to listen to his Uncle Cletus. So, all right. So I think that talks a little bit about the book. As far as some news goes, I wanted to talk to you guys about some upcoming appearances. Now, I'm not going to be able to stray across the country and things like that, or even across the world, so I apologize. I'd love to come see some of you guys wherever you're at. Eventually, who knows, in another year or two, if y'all buy enough copies of my book, maybe I will come to your state. But I will say this. For now, I know I've got multiple events coming up over the Halloween season. There's 2 that I have on my events calendar, even though I've got a few other scheduled, but there's still some details I'm working out. So I didn't want to just put them out there and then have those details change. But 2 that are set in stone right now, I've got on September 21st. If anybody is near Harriman, Tennessee, okay, come check out the Outer Realm Fest. All right, it's going to be on Saturday, September 12th at Harriman, Tennessee. There's details you can check on my Facebook. I've already got the events up there. But go check it out. I've got some copies of books. I'm going to be selling those and doing book signing. Also, I may or may not have T-shirts. I don't know. I've got possibly an order coming in. I don't know if they're going to be ready by then. We'll see. I told them to try to work their magic, but I may even have a T-shirt. Speaking of merchandise, guys, I'm actually right now working on getting some merchandise, so that way for those of you that want to support the Tepps family even more, then we're going to have some T-shirts. I've got a couple cool little designs that we're working on. My wife does a lot of little graphic artist type stuff and things, so she's trying to help me, I guess, come up with some finalized designs for that. But we may even have some other merchandise, things that you can order online, and of course we'll have like a T-shirt or 2 if you see us in person, and we'll try to, you know, do that for you as well. So the other major event set in stone is going to be in Kingsport, Tennessee, and that's actually going to be the Tennessee Bigfoot Conference 2019. And I'm pretty excited for that. I'm going to have a table there, and also we'll be doing my books, signing, things like that. I'm going to try, and that's like a 3-day event as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll be there like all 3 days, and I'm going to probably try to do some interviews. I'll try to record some stuff for you guys, maybe do some live feeds while I'm there. So any of you that are maybe into Bigfoot, but you know, anytime you go to these places, these conferences like that, you know, you're always going to have a little bit of variety on some other things too. But if you guys are into Bigfoot, this is going to be like a major event as well. And you guys know I already covered that on one of my videos where we talked about Bigfoot. So it'll be interesting. I thought it would be something fun to be a part of. Again, and I've got some other events that we're going to be doing live coming up, so keep an eye on that on my website. Remember, www.theeverythingparanormalshow.com. And if you go there, again, I'm trying to keep that up to date. Again, you can see my events, where my appearance events, where I'm going to be at, and if something else pops in there, again, I'm going to try to pop that in there for you guys so you can see that. And there's also on the website, again, let me remind you guys, I'm looking for ghost stories. So again, go to my website, send me an email. Type me out a true ghost story that happened to you. I want some real life. I don't want like urban legend stuff. Okay, guys? I don't want that. I want to actually hear from you guys some of your cool stories. Okay? That's what I want to hear. I really, really want to hear some of your guys' cool ghost stories or paranormal experiences, even if you're not real sure. Submit them to me. I want to make sure I have those on the website. And also, I've got another unique thing on there called Haunted Locations. As we venture back out into the field, I'm going to start doing some more things out in the field again. So hopefully you guys will start joining me for that. Maybe even some live haunts, right? Some ghost hunts and things. We're going to do some pretty cool stuff coming up. I wanted to not just do the show every week, but bring you other content as well and get you back out in the field. You know, we're updating some of our recorders. Again, see, this is like one of our recorders this was a big recorder for us back then. This recorder is probably, like 11-ish years old, but this thing is awesome. Okay, this is an Olympus WS-100. This thing, believe it or not, still works really well and has a USB. You guys can see that right there, and that actually plugs right in your computer. You can take EVPs, things like that. But we actually got some new omnidirectional voice recorders coming in the mail for us from Amazon. Again, so this was kind of our old investigations when we used to do. This was one of our remnants of the old the paranormal team when we had in Florida. So we found some of our old equipment still around. We had some of the camcorders, but they're so outdated. They still use tapes, like the little mini tapes, like right before digital. But it had the infrared and stuff, and we could put them on tripods and all that stuff. It was part of our investigations. But anyways, we've got more. We're going to be doing more stuff out in the field for you guys. So segueing into that, I just confirmed I'm going to be talking to Matt from SRS Paranormal. SRS Paranormal, if you guys don't know, he's going to be on the show next Thursday. So if you guys want to meet another person, and what's really cool about Matt, and I'm going to let him tell you guys his story. Hey everybody, hey Lisa, I saw you pop in there. What's cool about Matt is that his story is one that went from sort of that non-believer to believer. And again, so I'll let him get into all that. And also, you know, he's also representing that SRS Paranormal, and he will, you know, be able to kind of explain to you guys some of the cool pioneering type stuff that they're doing as well. And I'll let him explain some of that. So next week, stay tuned for that. And then I believe the week after that is going to be Rich from BRS Media, and I believe that's when we're going to be talking about alien stock. That's right, we got that alien stock coming up September 20th. So Rich and I are going to be on top of that. We're going to come to you Thursday, and we're going to be talking about that. So again, that's some of the upcoming shows. I wanted to give you guys some ideas about what I've got in store for the next few shows. It's going to be really cool. I think you guys will really enjoy some of that as well. Now, let's see. Let me think. Because, you know, half the time I'm just making this stuff up as I go, so just bear with me. No, I normally have some notes, but look, here's my notes today. Nothing. That's right. I have nothing today. I was going to write down some notes, and I just got busy. It was a long day at work, and didn't have a lot of time before the show. I knew what I wanted to talk about. I just want to make sure that I'm letting you guys know that if I sound like I'm winging it, it's because I really am a little bit. Okay. But no, we talked about the updates. We talked about some of the upcoming stuff. Now, I want to talk to you guys a little bit on a serious note. Now, if you remember last week's episode, and if you didn't watch it, go watch it. Seriously. But we talked about spiritual warfare. I had Sean Carter on here, and we talked about spiritual warfare. And it's a very serious issue because there's so much to spiritual warfare. There's just so much. People don't realize when you start messing with the paranormal in a way, I mean, but you're messing with things that you may not always understand or whatever. But the bottom line is sometimes people think that by messing with a Ouija board or messing with this or messing with, they're going to see like some ghost or demon, or they're going to have objects move. But sometimes spiritual warfare works very differently, okay? And you can be attacked in other ways, and there's other things that can happen. But it's very important to have your defenses up, things like that. Now, I'm going to share with you guys a paranormal experience that happened to me the other day, and it's a little bit embarrassing for me to a point, but it's definitely something that anyways. So here's the deal. So my wife and I and son, we were all out, and we were looking at homes. We were doing like the home shopping. We're shopping for a house, and we had to go by the gas station because we're all dying for thirst. Like when it's hot out and you just wanted some cold waters. So we pulled into the gas station, and then we went to go pull up to the pumps, or not the pumps, but to the front of the store. But they had like a diesel pump, and there was a sign. It was like, "Do not block the pump." So my wife's like, she was like, "I'm just going to drop you off." And I don't exactly know what happened. I didn't really black out, but I don't even know how to describe it. But I get out of the vehicle. I was pretty mad, I guess. And then I was like, I knocked on her window, and I'm like, "What are you doing? I got to get my wallet or whatever." I left my wallet in the door. And so, but she started driving around the parking lot to circle around to pull in the one way, so she had to go around the pumps. And I'm like yelling at her. And I guess I was like posturing. I like had my arms back a little bit, and I'm kind of leaning forward, almost like I'm getting ready to go into some kind of new Naruto run or something. And I'm just like, and I guess I'm just yelling over at her. And according to my wife, it was like the first time she ever was really afraid of me, because it was completely out of character. And she said that when she looked at my face as she was like circling around, like she said it didn't even look like my face. So it was really, really creepy. And then she pulls up and parks, and I guess I get my wallet, I go inside, and then as soon as I get inside, I actually was like kind of normal. And I went and got our drinks, and then but I guess I created a scene. All right. And what's crazy is like the way I acted, and I guess my wife's like, she didn't even recognize my face, and she felt as if I was like this kind of like an angry older man or something. She could almost sense that, because my wife's she has a little bit of clairvoyancy to a point. She's a little bit sensitive, and but she could almost pick up that there was like this old man. So I get back in the vehicle, and I'm just kind of like, and at that point, I believe that the spirit left me already once I went in the gas station. But like even when the guy was ringing me out, he wouldn't even talk to me, and I'm like trying to be nice to the guy, and then the other person, he was nice to them. So it's not like he was just, it's just, it was me. I guess I created that scene, and people were just like, what the heck? But I'm just like, I was back to normal. And I went and I got in the vehicle. I'm like, here's your water and whatever. And my wife's just looking at me like, what the hell? Like, what just happened? And I'm like, I don't like, I'm good, And she's like, whatever you have attached to you, you need to get rid of it. You need to get rid of it right now. And I'm like, yeah, I think you're right. I think there was something attached to me. I'm like, that's weird. And she told me about it, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, you know. So immediately I shut everything down, you know, and prayed to Jesus in my mind and stuff, and I cleared that out. So so I got rid of that. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. I don't even know how to describe it. I didn't feel, now I've had, the last time I ever had an attachment on me, and it's been a long time, because like I said, I'm really good about keeping up a good defense. And as you guys know, oh, and by the way, I had on my other crystal that I don't really normally wear. So I don't know, take that for what you will. But the next day, I'm like, when we went back, because see, when we were house shopping, by the way, just to kind of backfill you on this, we were at a pretty old, creepy house. Now, we were looking at an older house, but there was next door, there was another old, really creepy house that we all had sort of bad vibes on. I'm still wondering if it even came from the house that we looked at, because our son would just refuse to go into this house, like kicking. He was almost crying at times. He didn't want to go in and look at this house. So I don't know if that's where we picked it up from, but it decided to apparently rear its ugly head at that moment. And again, so going back to what I was just going to say, the last time I had an attachment, yeah, the old house, yeah, that's what. So the last time I had an attachment was St. Augustine Lighthouse. When we left there, it was kind of a joke. But when we left there, I was very feverish, and I could tell there was a sailor. Like, there was a lot of these weird little details I knew about the spirit. It just came into my head, and it followed us. It was attached to me. I was very feverish, and it was just like draining me. And that one, I didn't really sort of have a different personality or anything. I was just telling my wife, like, hey, I've got something attached to me. I'm not feeling good. I can tell there's a sailor. So, you know, and I was telling her the details. And so I had to get rid of that attachment as we went down the road. And then as soon as I got rid of that attachment, you know, all of a sudden I started feeling better, you know, and I wasn't feverish and, you know, all that stuff. And it really, I could physically tell. This time, I didn't even know. It caught me off guard. It really did. So the reason why I wanted to share this story with you guys is because it's a real thing out there. Spiritual warfare is real, and it can hit you out of the blue. It really can. And so I have to deal with that as well. You know, and I have to continue to pray, and if I have things in my life I need to atone for, you know, certainly I got to address that as well. But, you know, I'm trying to, let me move this stuff here. It's kind of blocking my, there we go. All right. So Rich is like, is that why you've been mean? Just kidding. Yeah. Oh, and William, hey William, just saw you pop in there. Spirit attachments are like STDs. You get them by going into places you know better than going. Well, and William, that's right. But you know, when you're in this business, like I go into these places, and like I said, normally I have my guard up, my shield up, those type of things. And out of all the places I've been to, again, it's rare, but it just shows you that it really is a real thing. It truly is. And that's why I like to share that with you guys. I just want to be straightforward so you guys understand. It can happen to anybody, even seasoned vets like my wife and I. So when it happens, the good thing about my wife and I is that we have that connection, and she can just tell me, hey, Josh, you know, you got something. She knows. Like, she knows me. So she was able to identify it right away, and I didn't even argue with her. I'm like, yeah, you're right. That makes sense. Boom, and it was done. You know, I shut everything down, behind my guard up, whatever, and everything's been fine. You know, there hasn't been anything since. So I believe we did get rid of it then, anyways. So, so yeah, I mean, again, this is why I tell you guys it's very important when you go into those situations, try to have that, you know, protection if you can. Again, there's some crystals out there that help. I know crystals is like a controversial subject with some people. Some people think that they're sinful. Again, everything in the Bible is tessellated crystal, and crystals here, crystals there. But I do believe they have some intrinsic powers. I believe that there is something on that PKE level. So I do believe that there is some help out there, that on this earth realm, I believe that some of those crystals can give us a little bit of extra protection and things like that. Certainly for me, it's about my relationship with God and Jesus Christ that gives me the ultimate protection. But again, I still like to have some crystals and give myself that extra precautions and things like that. I mean, it can't hurt. So, so yeah, so it's really awesome that we can share those things with you guys. Again, we think all of our viewers as family and things like that. So I love the fact that you guys are joining me, and we're getting more people in the chat little by little every day. So I appreciate that. By the way, if you guys out there have any questions about just the afterlife, paranormal, things like that, I would love to have you guys, again, participate in the show and ask some questions. You know, I'm more than happy to talk about them. So let's see. So we talked about my book, and we talked about the contest. Again, don't forget, send us your selfies with my book. Thanks to April that inspired me for the contest. So anytime you have a selfie with my book, we'll enter you in the contest. I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. If you don't want to show your face, I'm going to give you a little bit of encouragement. Or you can have a family member, right? If you have, you know what I mean? If you have somebody in your family willing to do a selfie. If you do a selfie with my book, you get 2 entries. All right? See, like April's already got 2 because she's the first one, right? So, like Rich or somebody out there, if you guys send me a selfie with the book, right, you get 2 entries. If it's just a picture of the book, you get 1 entry. But hey, it's still an entry, right? So that's a new deal. That's what we'll do. And you have till October 31st. We have to Halloween to get all the books submitted, and then once we do that, we'll do the competition. All right. So I think that's fair. We'll do that. We'll do a nice little $50 Amazon card gift. I like Amazon gift cards. My wife and I were like huge eBayers, like huge. My wife was like sniper queen, you know, like queen of sniping on eBay. And then it was just like, we just became Amazon. It's like we just started getting to where Amazon was just always so much easier to just get the stuff, get it to the house. I mean, because you might save a few bucks on eBay, but half the time you may not get it. It may take too long, whatever. We just stopped messing with all that. So, and now that I have a book on Amazon, well, I got to support Amazon now to a point. So, all right. So I see you see me. I'm sure my cats will fill in for me for the selfie. There you go. If you get a picture of your cat with my book, well, that's worth 2. That's worth 2 entries. So yes, definitely. So yes, that's what I said. If you guys want to use an animal or, you know, friend, something, I'll give you that as long as it's like a face. Or if you can capture a ghost face with my book, that would be crazy. That'd be creepy, but yeah. Can you imagine that? That'd probably earn you a whole show. We just talk about that photo and you capturing a ghost in that selfie. That would be creepy and crazy. Anyways, what do you guys think? Is there anything else you guys want to talk about tonight? What are we at? How much have I been rambling? Super long or what? It's like 12:07. It's not a super long show, but tonight I really wanted to get those updates out to you guys. Remember, I've got those appearances. Check on the website. Okay, check on the website. We got some cool shows coming up again with Matt from SRS Paranormal, and again we're going to be talking about that conversion from non-believer to believer. We're going to talk about some techniques out there in the field. There's a few different things like that, and again, he's a seasoned vet now, and he's got a great team. They're led by a psychic, or at least I know they have a lead investigator, but I'm not sure I'm not sure exactly of their tier structure, but I know that one of their main members is also a psychic who owns like this fairly haunted like mansion type place. It's really cool. It's like Nickerson Sneed mansion, and they do a lot of cool stuff for Halloween, and who knows, I may even be out there live doing some stuff. We'll see. We got a lot of little things that we can do. They're a really good paranormal investigation team, so I'm looking forward to that. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. Come up with some questions for them if you guys have. So William, you say you would like to hear about this book. Well, you got to buy it. You got to buy it and read it. But I will tell you that, okay, so let me give you guys a little bit of clue on how it is. Totally not paid to say that, right? That's funny. You made me laugh on that one. That was a good one. Okay, William, since you want to hear about the book, I'm going to send you a check. Now I would say like probably about the first like third of the book. What it is, you're going to get stories that kind of start when I was very young, and sort of it'll walk you through some key moments throughout my life that were either paranormal based or things that led me to where kind of I am now with sharing my experiences and sharing my theories. And then again, the last kind of 2/3 of the book roughly, or a big section of the book, is going to be a lot of the theories that we talk about. So it'll talk about different aspects about death, about the different spirit realms. It talks about evil spirits, ghosts, hauntings, a little bit of everything, and even dives into my reincarnation theories, which I've always kind of held coveted to speaking out loud, because I knew I was working on the book, and I wanted to save that reincarnation theory for the book, instead of just doing a thing on it. So the book is My Paranormal, A Guide to the Spirit Realms. Again, on Amazon. If you're on the Facebook, there should be plenty of links. I think that was like one of the main links on the Facebook group, the Everything Paranormal Show Facebook group. There's links on there. So again, and I believe there may even be links from this point forward in all the comment sections later on once this video finalizes, and you'll see all the comment or the stuff in the comment section, all that all gets filled in later once the show finalizes and all that. So you'll see all those links, and I believe there's even a link to the book there. So I See You See Me says, how do you get rid of attachments? What did you do to the crystals so it's protection? Okay, well, so let's talk a little bit about programming crystals. First of all, you have to kind of decide what type of crystal you'd like. Now, as it just so happens, I do mention a little bit about that in my book. I do talk a little bit about crystals. Again, I'm not a crystal expert, okay, but I know enough to kind of, from through some of the recent times, and my wife kind of got me involved in that. But for example, you have to find the one. Now, for me, I knew that a clear quartz. Okay, I'm sorry. William was just like, he's like trying to get a pen. So, hey, look, it's Kylo Ren. He's joined us. All right, there. I put my background back up. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing. Oh man, it's like doing that every time I click up. Okay, never mind. Don't worry about it. But yeah, it's My Paranormal, A Guide to the Spirit Realms. Okay, so back to the crystals. If so, sorry about that. I see you see me. Now for me, it was clear quartz. Okay, it offers a little bit of everything, but with the healing. So you want to do a little bit of research on what exactly you're looking for. But if you're looking for protection, so for example, there's a crystal called Jet. All right, Jet offers protection, and that's pretty much it. Like a good overall protection. I want to say Shungite also offers protection, and it also does a little bit of healing. Okay, so that kind of helps as well. Right, the force is strong on this one. Again, there's amethyst, clear quartz, things like that. Again, there's so many different types. You're definitely you definitely could type in, types of healing crystals and stuff, things like that, protection. But anyways, so what I would recommend, I see you see me, is first of all, if you're the type to get out and about a little bit every once in a while, before you head into town, just do like a Google search and see if there's a rock shop near you. Just type in like rock shop. So, hey, the living proof of paranormal investigations. Hey, how's it going? I'm glad you could pop in there. Nice to see you join the show. So we're talking about crystals right now, but yeah, if you can go into town, like Google rock shops near you, see if there's one near you. A lot of times people don't even realize it might just be like a small little house or something, but you'll be surprised. And then you'll go in there and they have all kinds of crystals, and a lot of times they'll have like Wiccan type stuff, and so don't be afraid. I mean, it doesn't mean you're going to go to hell, but they'll have a variety of things, and you can even talk to them, and sometimes they can give you some recommendations. So let's just say, for example, you wanted to have a clear quartz like me. So what you would do is you'd go over to the clear quartz, and for me, it's like there's just this draw to you. Like you want to find the one that calls out to you. So it's really going to be probably that first instinct. When you kind of look through there and you're like, man, that crystal right there, that just looks like it's for me. And you want to maybe grab it, hold it, and as you hold it, you may even start to feel a little bit of energy in your hand, believe it or not. And if you find that crystal, see, for me, it wasn't wrapped. I wrapped this myself, which there's tutorials on. You can do that, or you can just buy like little cages for them and pop your crystal in there. This is like some kind of Greek leather rope thing I got out of one of the shops, and I built this whole necklace from scratch. So, but what you want to do is when you get it home, you rinse it under tap water. Believe it or not, it cleanses the crystal. Literally, like you think, oh, you wash it, but you cleanse the crystal by rinsing it off. Don't use soap. Don't use any soap. Don't like scrub and all that. Just rinse it off. And then literally, is programming a crystal is just as easy as holding that crystal and just thinking about what you want it to do for you. Now, again, you don't want to do selfish things like, hey, give me the winning lottery numbers. I mean, it's not like that, okay? But, don't do the selfish things with it. Like, can you put a restraining order on my ex-wife? Wait, nothing crazy. It's just think about the things that you want it to do, like protecting you from negative entities, things like that. For me, this also offers a connection to my family because we all have crystals, my wife, my son. It also offers us sort of a remote connection. We can do remote healing and things like that. There's a lot of things into crystals. So that's why I just wanted to share that. Hopefully that answers your question. Once it's programmed, once you do program it and you think about what you want it to do for you, don't let anybody else touch it. If somebody else touches your crystal, you're probably gonna have to rinse it, and you're probably gonna want to rinse it and reprogram it. So just keep that in mind again. And every once in a while, again, take it out. Make sure you have some sunlight. Sunlight does kind of recharge it, so you want to make sure you get out there and have it in the sun every once in a while, and that helps kind of keep it keep it charged up for you. So hopefully that gives you, hopefully that answers your question. So let's see here. We got, glad I caught the live. Yeah, I'm glad you caught the live too. Thank you again. Let's see. If you guys have any questions, any more questions, like I said, please feel free as we get ready to wrap up soon. You guys are always very, again, this is your show too. This is, like I tell you guys, this is your show to participate in. So this is your chance to chat with me, ask me questions of theories, things like that, discussions, all that stuff. So for those of you that may not remember that, look but don't touch, touch but don't use, use but don't indulge. Some good words there, right? So, all right. One thing too that going back a little bit too, that I wanted to go back to William when he was talking about, he was asking me about my book. Again, My Paranormal, A Guide to the Spirit Realms, available on Amazon. I talk about my theories, but then also at the end too, I also get into a little bit of advice, I guess you'd say, toward like future investigators, or even if people are at home and they're thinking about doing investigations and things like that. So, and I wrap it up with some closing thoughts and things like that. So all in all, again, I'm very proud of the book. I know it's not like a scholar type of book, you know, it's not going to have your super, you know, I didn't want to write a book that it was me referencing other people's work over and over and over and just offer my opinions on it. And I see that a lot. And it's like, you know, I wanted to share with you guys, especially with my first book, I wanted it to be a little more personal. I wanted you guys to kind of see some of the key moments in my life. Some of the key moments in my life that led me to where I am with paranormal and things like that. And I talk a little bit about that as well. And as you know, some of you may or may not know, my wife and I, when we had our investigation team, we did do some preliminary investigations for TAPS, the show Ghost Hunters, or the Ghost Hunters show, back when it was Jay and Gran, and Donna was the case manager, and you know, they reached out to us in the Panhandle of Florida back when we had our team there, and we were doing some of their preliminary investigations and things like that. So, you know, back then when shows were, when people had paranormal investigation teams, it's like any one of us could have got our own shows back then. It was crazy. It was like so many shows were popping up, and I had submitted like ideas back then for like some urban legend type of shows, which they kind of have now, and kind of stole some of my idea, just used better looking people than me. So, but in any case, you know, they, it's, you know, I like doing it. I think my wife and I love to do it. I don't want to just speak for her, so I'll just say that, and I probably could speak for her because I know how she is, and she's such a caring person. But I know that for us, it's about helping people. It really is. If you're in the ghost hunting for like the thrill seek part of it, then don't take on cases. Like, don't take on cases. If you want to thrill seek and just ghost hunt, go to like abandoned places, places like that, you know, where there's nobody living there and there's not a lot of fallout. Again, keep in mind, you may bring stuff home with you and affect other people, but I'm just saying, don't take actual cases where there's victims involved, because a lot of times when people that are victims of hauntings and things like that, they reach out to these paranormal investigators, and if you're not equipped to handle them, to actually help them, then don't do it. Okay? It's one thing I definitely preach, because again, we're trying to help people in this industry. That's why I have this show, so we can help bring answers to people when they're looking for answers. They can come here and interact and ask questions, and again, like some of you have. So that's awesome stuff. But yeah, I appreciate it. Rich says a good storyteller. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Again, you guys are awesome. I will. I should share with you guys a story out of the book, but not tell you like the end of it. I just like tell you the beginning, and let you just like guess what happens, and then you have to get the book. Like, do a cliffhanger, like that'd be like a dick move, but that's okay. That's all right. No, I mean, I'm telling you guys, I've got some stories, and I'm gonna get my wife on here too. All right. Right, and like just like all right, so my wife's yelling at me about. So, okay, well, let me tell you. I'll tell you guys another story. This is pretty cool. On also the connection with crystals, and that sort of paranormal connection. So we went out to the tennis court the other night, and we took our son out there, and well, he had his crystal. He's got like a silver chain with his crystal, and it's got like Jesus cross and things on there. So he we took it off of him because he had to run and do some laps. You know, he's training to be a pro tennis player someday, right? So he so anyways, he goes, and we had I guess my wife had it, and somehow she doesn't know how, she doesn't remember exactly how, but at some point she loses it. I don't know how, I don't know where, if she just like dropped it, if it fell out of like a pocket or something. I don't know. But we ended up, he ran his laps, he came back, we played tennis, and then we left and we went home, and then realized like, oh my god, realized like, oh my god, you know, Christian lost his crystal. Like, she couldn't find it, and she's like, I lost his crystal, and you know, she was panicking and everything else. Well, something told her like, just quit looking, just go out to the tennis court. So they go out to the tennis court, and you got to remember, it's like pitch dark out here now. All right, it is like dark, and they go out and they're trying to look, and my wife like just goes and she stops, and they're looking around, and my wife just kind of stops for a second. She said, wait a minute, let me just feel this out. And she just turns right around, and it was hanging on the water fountain. Somebody or whatever had just hung it on the water fountain. I mean, you know, it's a nice silver chain crystal. It's got silver cross on there and stuff. You know, it's a nice piece of jewelry, and it's not really in the greatest neighborhood. But again, something just made my wife stop, turn around, and look at the water fountain, and sure enough, it was hanging right there. So she was just like, yeah, I just felt it. She told me, she's like, yeah, I just went, and out of all the places that it could have, you know, that they would have had to have looked, where she hadn't even gone onto the tennis court was locked. Like, the city came by and locked up the courts. You couldn't even get out there. So again, it just shows you, yeah, 11:30 at night, and she's out, and like I said, it's not the greatest neighborhood. Okay, so that was really cool, and that just shows you again. Sometimes there's just those higher connections that we can't always explain. Again, on that psychokinetic energy level, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm talking about. And that's the same thing with paranormal. It's just that those things that we can't always explain, and we're always trying to find those answers. We're always trying to look for those. But I just wanted to share with you guys a couple little cool paranormal experiences tonight. And again, those updates. So remember, go out. Don't forget, post those selfies with my book, and give yourself an entry into that contest. Again, $50 Amazon gift card. I'll put the details. I'll probably write up a nice little post in the Facebook group So if you're part of the Facebook group, if not, if you're watching this and you're not, go join the Facebook group. And if you're part of the Facebook group, again, if you watch this and you haven't subscribed to me, click that subscribe button, guys. That's the best way you can show me your love and support, is by sharing, clicking that subscribe, clicking like. But you guys are awesome. And as I always say, guys, seek the truth. Seek the truth. We'll see you next week.